Patties. Test, test. Test, 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 test. Try. Testing, testing. Got something on it. I hear it, but it's not enough volume on either one of those. Test, test, test. Test, 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 test. The main was too far down. Testing, test, test, testing, test, test, test. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would make your way inside the sanctuary, we'll be getting started with parables in a couple of minutes, in 2 minutes. Okie dokie. Just one last check here. At 108 minutes of play, France 2, Argentina 3. Hi, my name is Stuart Davenport, and one wacky meeting several months ago, your pastor, Amy, and myself sat down and came up with this idea of what to fill this space. And we call it, after many, many iterations of a name, we call it parables. And Jesus taught us in story, and we can teach ourselves in that same way of story. And so on this, the fourth Sunday of Advent, the Advent Sunday of Peace, I invite my peaceful friend. In our house, we call her Oma Pat, which means grandmother Pat in German, because Pat is still Pat in German, just in case you were wondering. Pat, come on up. Last Friday, Seth was singing in his sing-along. Oh, you need help. They have kids that say all these Christmas greetings in different languages. And so a month or two or so ago, Seth said, I speak German. Seth wishes he speaks German, and he doesn't speak it. So other than Uma, good morning, and milk. That's all it is. That's it. So, say it in the microphone again. Freudige, why not? Fix that. Try again. Okay, you're gonna have to really hold the microphone close. Between you and Seth, we should have a German speaker in no time. So, I'm trying to remember how long ago it was. I was at Pat's house one time, and we were just sitting there talking, regaling the while away on a glider on the porch, and it was kind of like this, and it's been this ongoing story between you and I that I want you to share with folks today. But how this winding road and your relationship with God, with our Creator, from afar, from across the street actually, with a little Methodist church in a Ohio town on lake, near the lake, but not on the lake. Lake Erie?
I grew up in northwestern Pennsylvania, right up on the edge of Ohio and the edge of Lake Erie, which on the other side of Lake Erie is Canada. So it was colder than heck up there. I mean, you've seen all the stuff on TV about Buffalo, New York. We were directly down in Buffalo, New York. We're right under Buffalo. So, just come across the lake and go, oh, this is the snow.
So every Christmas since then has tried to compare it to some extent.
Live up to that. And the moral of the story is, you never know who's watching. You know, it could be Santa Claus, who's always watching, but it could be a little girl looking out of her window by herself in the night too. You just don't know who's watching.
So I have this image of you, and I don't know if this is right or wrong. You're kind of like in this beautiful kind of bungalow-style shaped house. If it was two-story, it wasn't much of a two-story house, and a porch. But you're in that living room window on the back of the couch, looking out, and there's that candle with the little candles in it, like the little that's you and your little face. Yeah. I'm glad I didn't say any other decade. So when you come to Christmas and you think about your childhood memory of Christmas, which brings you peace, because, you know, we lit the fourth candle and it's the candle of peace. How do you find peace now?
I've had a really rotten year. There's no way to put it. It's been really terrible. I had a lot of really serious health issues. Almost didn't make it to this Christmas. And in the meantime, my husband died. So it's just been rough. In the midst of all of this, and it's been a whole year because it started just around this time last year. In the midst of all this, God has shown me the most amazing provision. My neighbors, my neighborhood has been incredible, absolutely incredible what they've done for me. The people in this church have come through 1,000 different things, and some of the biggest contributors are sitting right over there. The people in my family have come down from Albuquerque, from Santa Fe, people have just shown up. It's just been absolutely amazing, faith affirming, amazing, just amazing. So I don't know what would give you peace more than knowing that God has your back. You know, He has your back. All this stuff is happening to me. It's awful, but people are showing up. They're the hands and feet of Christ. They're coming in with food. They're coming in with flowers. They're coming in to mow my yard. They're coming in just anything. You know, all kinds of stuff. I made a list, and I'm going to read it to you. There was walking my dog, and one of my neighbors still does that every day because I can't walk. They got my Christmas decorations down because they insisted that I have some Christmas decorations, and I didn't want to do it, so they did it. Another friend who's a little more tech savvy installed Alexa, so I didn't have to get up and turn the lights off and on. They bring in my trash cans, and they're still doing that every week. I mean, just incredible the stuff that people have thought to do for me. And the reason I'm telling you this, the reason I'm reading this list to you, is because it wasn't just one person that said, I'm going over there and help that old lady. It's the whole neighborhood, and it's the church, and it's my friends outside of church. And each person did a little bit. Not one person did all these things. All these people. One put the trash can, one person walked the dog, one person walked around. So this is what Stuart says all the time, except I can't quote because I can't remember what he says. He says, everybody do a little bit, you know, and then you get the whole effect, the whole thing. And that's what happened to me. All these different people, each one did a little bit, and it's all helped me out. They got me through this year. It's just been amazing. Jeremiah 29 says, For I know the plans, I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope. I don't have any hope in the future. And He's got your back.
So you're finding peace in all of that. You're finding peace in your community.
I'm finding peace in the fact that God already had this in place for me. He already had all these people around and ready to go.
So if you guys didn't know, like Pat just lives down at the end of Morningstar Drive, which, by the way, did you know how many times Morningstar's on the signs, on the street signs, how different it is from your corner all the way up to Sonoma Ranch. I've done it for you guys. It's like 50-50. Morning Star is one word and Morning Star is two words on all these street signs. But you moved in when that neighborhood was fairly new, or maybe a couple years old, and next door to you used to live Carolyn Martinez and her husband, and Jan Kemp lived across the street from you, behind you, and around the corner. The Smiths live around the corner and like 2-3 houses up behind you, and then across the street the Smiths live. Yeah, the other Smiths. And then there's the Smith. No, I'm just kidding. But there was people who lived up the street Nebula Way. There was people who lived on the cul-de-sac of Morning Star. There was other people who lived, I forgot the name of the street that you live on, but I know where you live. That's probably not a good idea to know that. But anyways, like all these people came together as a community. They used to come to church together. Some still come to church together. Some have gone on before us. And then in the midst of all that, because of this community that you've been living in there on Nebula Way and Morning Star Drive, they've been replaced. Because Stuart and she used to have a neighbor that lived across the street from her by the name of Stuart, and I've got his wife's name, but that house sold, and then somebody moved in, and those people are now friends with you, and like all these people, they're just.
One of my very best friends, she died when we were in Albuquerque, but she used to tell me you need younger friends. And so that's what's happening. The neighborhood is turning over in younger people.
And you're getting younger friends. That's great. That's great. So what keeps you coming back to Morning Star?
They're all my family. They're all my family. I've been here, I can't decide. I was trying to decide last night, it's been 15 years or 17 years. I can't remember, but I've been here a long time. And I pray for all the people that are sitting in the service with me on Sunday. I look around, and I know a lot of your stories. I know a lot more than just your name. I know your background. I know tragedy and things that happened to you, and joys and times, grandchildren, all kinds of stuff. And so this is my family. So I come back here because it's my family. Not necessarily for the preacher, because we've been through 4 preachers since I've been here. And they're all good and they're all different. So the preachers just come and go, but the people stay.
Do you ever wonder that it might be you about the preachers?
Well, I almost ran off the superintendent McElroy when he took John away from us, and his name Travis. I really need him all the time. But other than that, I think I've been pretty nice.
So we're gonna get there. Okay. So you're a little girl, and you're looking out that window with the candles, and your face is glowing as a glare on the glass, and it's like this beautiful. It's like a Coca-Cola, Norman Rockwell kind of picture of you looking across the street to this church that you don't go to, and I want you to share the story of like you had friends that you went to school with in this town of 1,000 that went to the Methodist church, and what would happen after Vacation Bible School?
Well, as I said, I was raised Catholic. There were 3 other Catholic families in that town. Everybody else was Protestant. And they all had different denominations, but everybody was Protestant. A lot of churches. 50s. So my mother wouldn't let me go to any of those churches with my friends and visit them or anything because, the group of the church would fall into the Catholic wing of the Protestant church. So I wasn't allowed to do that. So my friends would go to Vacation Bible School in the summertime. Well, the
think it's funny how God puts you in a situation, in a position where you kind of dream of this church, and then you come and end up being in that church, except it's on a dusty little hill, way far away from the water and from the.
I know the plans I have for you, saith the Lord. It's all figured out.
So you come here, you get involved here in this small little church that has gone through so many iterations since you've been here. This room has changed twice since you've been here, and you end up serving the church. How have you served Morningstar? What are all the different ways that you've done? Did you check it twice?
No, the price and stuff that I've got.
Did you leave the ones that were naughty and nice?
Only naughty thing I did was McElroy. SGRC, because John Moore put me on that when I first got here.
So that's the Staff Pastoral Relations Committee, basically the HR committee of the Methodist Church.
What we used to be before we went on board.
Yeah.
And then I was on HCI.
Which is a Healthy Church Initiative. That was a long time ago.
The one board with Ross, and we were trying to get TRC started. And then the one board with Amy. And then VBS for several years. I was in every position in VBS I can think of, including food. Then I did the memorial foods for the services. I took over for Patsy Essinger. Patsy. And I was organizing the women's retreat. I'm in a growth group. I went to dinners for 8, when we had dinners for 8. We organized the Thanksgiving dinner. We had Thanksgiving here for the women's breakfast, several different Bible studies. It was a 3-year. Probably other stuff.
We have a comment from outside. Uh-huh. Let's try that. There's nothing like being discombobulated from somebody from outside. But hey, I'm really excited that there's somebody watching online. Yeah.
Hi, y'all.
I was told to try to stick to the script as much as possible. But I
When has he ever done what he's told me?
that's what I wonder about my son all the time. So in your conversation with Amy and I online through email, you wanted to say something a little bit about the generosity of, and you touched on that, the generosity this last year of like how, well, I think that you were amazed, if I could put words in your mouth for you, I think you were amazed about how many friends you actually had, people that you could count as friends, and surprised that people who would count you as friends that would step up and do stuff, like the young person in your neighborhood who was like, oh, I can help you with that Alexis, or hey, let me walk your dog for you, or hey, let me mow the lawn for you, or hey, we'll come and pick you up and take you to church, that kind of stuff. Like all these people who either reaffirmed friendships or showed you, hey, we were friends from the get-go when we said hello to each other.
I think it's like, I hate to use the word revelation because that sounds so churchy. Inspiration, I don't know what the word is. That this was already set up. That's what just absolutely astounded me. It was like
but they just kind of lived into it. And so can we stop here just for a minute, like a real hard timeout? You know what the really amazing thing is about all this? Well, I think it's amazing that you let all these people do this. Right? I mean, that's an amazing gift that you're one of the most amazing things is it's amazing to give, right? It's amazing. It's better to give than to receive, especially at this time of year. We try to tell our kids that. We try to remind ourselves that. But when the person is receiving the gift, to receive the gift. You're not going to argue with me about that? No, okay. So, anything else you want to tell us about that little town of Bethlehem? It wasn't called Bethlehem, but I think of it as Bethlehem in some way.
There is a Bethlehem, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, but it's not anywhere near where you grew up. But that little town of Christmas near Lake Erie, where the lake effect snow would happen, and the Methodists would come out on a cold minus 30-degree Christmas Eve night and sing by a life-size manger. Anything else you want to?
No, this is not really connected to Christmas, but as I said, my dad had a grocery store, the grocery store. And being a good businessman, he tried to support all the different things that went on in the town. And he was on the fireman's auxiliary, and he was in the Lions Club, and all these things. And one of the things he did, he would buy tickets for all the different things the churches had going on in that town. Like I said, my mother thought the roof would fall in if we went, but my dad would buy tickets and we'd go. So we used to go to pancake suppers. This is also, he said they would have pancake suppers. I thought that was the most amazing thing, you know. The Catholic Church did not do things like that. We didn't have anything at all like that. And so people would get together and have friendship and share a meal and stuff. So these are all my impressions of the Methodist Church growing up. You know, vacation Bible school, pancake suppers, manger scene. It just seemed like such a warm and friendly place to be in that church.
And so you were destined to become a Methodist. Okay, does anybody have any questions of Pat? Yes.
Yes.
So, what, so for those of you who didn't hear it, Amy was saying that the word that Pat was looking for was providence. God's providence for us. Kathy. Oh, sure. Here, let's switch.